Hello, my friend. Welcome to my channel. My name is Jordan. I'm a certified prenatal yoga instructor and I make yoga related content for prenatal, trying to conceive, postnatal, all of that stuff here on this channel. So if you enjoy this video, make sure and subscribe, give this video a thumbs up. And in this video, we are going to be walking through a beginner prenatal yoga class. It's going to be nice and long. I'm going to give you all of the must-know things for kind of starting a prenatal yoga journey, whether this is your first time to yoga or just you've become newly pregnant and now you're like, how does my practice need to change? I'm going to slowly walk us through all of that in this video. I will be using a couple of props, so if you have some kind of meditation cushion or like a pillow that you can sit on. And then we will be using a big bolster at the end. So again, if you have like a big pillow or anything like that. And then I always encourage you to have some blocks handy. Make sure you have a mat or something soft beneath you, and we can go ahead and jump right into it. We are going to start today in a comfortable seated position. Ideally, your hips will be above your knees. So if you have some kind of meditation cushion or just a pillow or a folded up blanket, something you can put under the back side of your seat to prop up, and just look down. Make sure your hips are higher than your knees. That allows for better circulation into your legs. And just start to settle in. Let anything you're worrying about melt away. Maybe close your eyes. Gently hug baby in as you send the crown of your head up towards the ceiling. You can place your hands on your baby. And just begin to notice the breath. Take this opportunity to tune in and connect with your baby. Maybe it's for the first time all day. And just take a moment of gratitude for how powerful you are, how beautiful it is that you get to grow life inside of you. And know that this is your most intuitive time. That's where the mother's intuition comes from. It starts during pregnancy and you have an innate knowing for what's best for you and your baby. Two more big, deep breaths. Good. Open your eyes when you're ready. You can take your pillow or your cushion out from underneath you and set it to the side. We're going to start on all fours. You might like to have some kind of blanket or padding underneath you for your knees, depending on what kind of surface you're on. Just stack your hips over your knees, your shoulders over your wrists. Spread the fingertips wide. On an inhale, shine the chest forward into a cow pose. During pregnancy, we already have an exaggerated lumbar curve. So we have an arch in our lower spine. And this is good. This allows for the best positioning for baby to come out during labor. So it's not a bad thing, but we don't want to over exaggerate that. We don't want to make it even more pronounced. And so instead of dropping our belly in our cow pose, go ahead and focus more on lengthening the tailbone out and then opening up across the chest. Imagine your collarbones like two canoes rowing away from each other, just shining the chest forward rather than arching into the low back even more. So we'll do that again together. Inhale, open up the chest, shine the heart forward, find length in the lower back. Exhale to cat, rounding the back, sending the tailbone down towards the space between your knees. You can tuck your chin into your chest. Inhale to cow, shining the heart forward. Exhale, cat. Really imagine a string right around your bra line in the center of your back, pulling your back upwards, rounding into a C shape. And inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Inhale, come back to a neutral, all fours. You can walk your hands forward and begin to lower your torso down into puppy pose. So for the rest of this practice, whenever we do down dog, if that is too much for you, I invite you to go into puppy pose. So your hips are gonna stay directly over your knees and your torso is gonna come down. So instead of child's pose where you're sitting all the way back, you're staying upright here. And you're just allowing your weight to sink forward into puppy pose. So go ahead and try that now. Big inhale and exhale. If that still feels like too much, you can always grab a cushion and kind of place it under your chest for a little bit more support. Good, pressing back into all fours. We're gonna inhale, exhale, step the right foot forward to the outside of your right hand, so we're taking it wide. You can begin to inch that foot forward and sink a little bit lower, or just stay right there. During pregnancy, we have a hormone coursing through our body called relaxin, and this causes all of your muscles, tendons, ligaments, everything to relax and stretch. And this enables your pelvis to widen. It makes like everything have more space for labor, so it's a good thing, but we need to be mindful of that during any kind of exercise or yoga during pregnancy. We don't want to be pushing to the fullest extent that we might want to when we aren't pregnant. And this isn't because we're weak. We are so powerful and so strong. This is just because there's that extra hormone and we are already working so hard on making that baby. So just use this time, like keep that in mind, even from the moment you find out you're pregnant, just back off on the flexibility and instead focus more on strength and stability. So instead of sinking super low into our lizard, maybe back off a little bit and think about engaging the inner thighs. Think about squeezing those inner thighs towards the midline and really turning those muscles on. That'll avoid a lot of pelvic pain later. Go ahead and curl the back toes under and walk your hands back. We're gonna stretch the back side of that right leg. Inhale, walk the hands forward to lizard, squeezing those inner thighs together, stabilizing the pelvis. Good, walking back, stretching the hamstring. You can flex through the toes of the right foot, sending the toenails towards your shin. Walking forward to lizard one last time. Engaging the inner thighs. And walking back. Good. Coming back, hands to neutral. You can step the right foot back to all fours. And we are going to take the hands as wide as the mat and the feet as wide as the mat. Curling the back toes under, you can press up into a down dog. And if this is too much, if you're brand new to yoga, you can always do a puppy pose after trying this. But we want our feet as wide as the mat to give us a little bit more of a stable base, and it also just creates more space in the pelvis. So once your belly gets bigger and bigger and bigger, that's just going to feel a lot more comfortable. So I like to encourage mamas to start doing that early just to get into the habit, and it also just feels really nice. So allow your knees to bend, allow your heels to come up off the mat. We're not looking for the deepest stretch here. Again, think more about lengthening through the spine, pressing into the mat. Think about a long line of energy from the crown of your head out through your tailbone. Gently hugging baby up and in. Good. Drop back down to all fours. Kind of move side to side. Take any little movements that you need to. Then we're going to step the left foot forward to the outside of the left hand. And slowly begin to find a comfortable stretch, not going past the point of resistance. Think about engaging, turning on those inner thighs, squeezing them towards the midline. Good. Walk the hands back, find a nice hamstring stretch, flexing through the left toes. Walk the hands forward to lizard. Big breath here. Walking back for a hamstring stretch. Walking forward one last time for a lizard pose. And back to hamstring stretch. Good. Walking the hands back to neutral. Step the left foot back to all fours. Setting up for either a down dog or a puppy pose. Pressing your seat towards the back of the room, up towards the ceiling. Lengthening in the spine. You can let your head hang heavy. Good. Walk your hands back towards your feet. If you're in puppy pose, you can kind of join us. We're walking our hands back towards our feet for a slight forward fold. Again, keep the knees generously bent here. If you've been experiencing any dizziness or heartburn, then you'll want to keep your forward folds only halfway because we don't want our heart to go below our stomach here. That will cause your heartburn to get worse. So grab some blocks or books or a chair or something like that whenever you have forward folds come up in this practice or any other practice, and you can just go halfway. When you're ready, you can generously bend the knees, then slowly begin to roll your body up. All the way, shoulders rolling down your back. Feet a little bit wider than hip distance apart. Gently hug your baby in. Imagine sending your tailbone down to the space between your heels, lengthening through the spine, crown of the head facing up. We're going to inhale the arms up. Exhale, press the air away. Inhale, arms up. Exhale. Press the air away. Good. We're going to step our right foot, or whichever foot you need to follow me, forward. Nice big step. You might want to be close to a wall or a chair or something in case you lose your balance, something to grab onto. Then pivot the back toes so that your front heel is bisecting your back arch. We're going to bend through the front knee into a warrior two, so you can heel toe the back foot forward or backward to lengthen or shorten your stance. We're going to sink down into a nice deep warrior two. Look down and make sure your right knee is over your right ankle. And then again in warrior two and in anything else, we're going to be focusing on hugging all of our muscles in, engaging those muscles. The more we can engage all the muscles in our thighs and around our hips and pelvis, the more that we can stabilize those muscles and avoid a lot of pain and pelvic discomfort, especially later in pregnancy. So just imagine hugging all of the muscles of your right leg into your bone, Same with the back leg. Press through the pinky toe side of your back foot. Don't let that toe pop up. Pressing through the foot, engaging. Imagine you're trying to lift the center of your mat with your legs. You're trying to press them together to create a bubble up in the center of your mat. That's how hard we should be engaging those legs. Arms out to the side. Nice strong arms while still keeping the shoulders down and soft. And I know it already starts to get hard, especially when you're engaging your legs that much, but just turn your attention to your breath. Train your mind to endure, to be strong. Stay in it. It's almost kind of like training your brain for labor. Use your breath to communicate to your baby that you're okay, you're going through this hard thing, but you guys are okay, and everything is going to be all right. 3, 2, 1, good. Straighten that front leg. Walk the back foot forward just a little bit, shorten that stance. Arms back out long, and we're gonna slowly shift our body over the front leg into triangle pose. So you can either support yourself with your hand kind of above your knee or below your knee, or if you want to grab a block, if you have a block or something similar to that size, you can put that in front of your foot to support yourself. Again, like with everything else, we're not looking for the deepest triangle pose all the way to the ground. We're looking more for length and space. So engage through those legs. Still imagine creating that bubble in the center of your mat. All of those muscles turned on. Hand up towards the sky. Your gaze can follow or stay neutral. We'll take a few big breaths here. Good. You can set your block to the side if you were using one. Cartwheel the arms back up. Turn your right toes forward so both toes are facing forward. Bring your hands to your hips, pressing the crown of the head tall. Big inhale and exhale. Slowly start lowering into a wide-legged forward fold. Again, if you don't want to go all the way down, if you've been having heartburn, you can use block or a chair or something to just go halfway here. If you'd like to go a little bit deeper, you can walk your hands to the floor. Even here, turning those muscles on, engaging, trying to squeeze the muscle to the bone. Good. Generous bend in the knees. Bring your hands to your hips and slowly begin to roll your body up, all the way back up. The reason we go slow is to avoid getting lightheaded or dizzy. That can happen even when you're not pregnant. Okay, turning the other toes forward. We're going to go into Warrior Two on the other side. So you can walk your back foot back a little bit to lengthen the stance if you need to, and then bend through the front knee. Knee directly over the ankle. Make sure your knee isn't tracking in or too far back. You want it right over the toes. Pressing through the pinky toe side of the back foot. And then engaging all those muscles. Squeezing your feet. Imagine you're pulling them together. Then extend your arms out long. And don't start cheating up. Make sure you're bending into that knee. And just tune into your breath. I love to think of the breath as a way to communicate to your baby. Such a powerful tool we have to slow the heart rate down and just bring a feeling of peace over us, and our baby can sense that. Holding, holding. I know it's getting tough, but do it for your baby and focus on your breath. You can close your eyes. That always helps me tune in and tap into a strength that's deeper. One more big breath. You can do it. Let it out. Good. Straighten through that front leg. Shorten the stance by walking your back foot in just a few little steps here. And we're going to send our weight forward over the front leg and then twist our arms up into triangle. Again, if you wanted to use a block, if you have a block or a table, you can use that. Your hand can be up here on your thigh. If you want to go a little deeper, it can be below your knee. We just don't want to put our hand on our knee, wherever is comfortable. Good. Micro bend the front knee, cartwheel the arms back up. Slowly start to walk that back foot in. And once your feet are closer together, then you can step the back foot forward to meet the right. Set any props aside. Give everybody a minute to get here. Inhale the arms up. Exhale, press the air away. Looking down at your feet, making sure you have a nice wide base, wider than hip distance. One more inhale up. Exhale, slowly fold forward. Generously bend the knees. Once your hands find the floor, slowly walk your feet back into down dog. If you aren't doing down dog today, then go ahead and drop to your knees and find our puppy pose. But otherwise, spread the fingers wide, feet wide. Bend the knees, lengthen the spine. Think about pressing your torso towards your thighs. Big inhale and exhale, dropping to our knees. Taking any little movements that feel good to your body, that your body might be asking for. And we are going to work our way into a plank. So I want to just talk really quick about working your core during pregnancy. It is so vital and important. It will make for an easier labor. Again, with the stability of all the muscles surrounding your belly, it's just going to alleviate more pain later to have those muscles strong. But during pregnancy, you want to be really careful about the core work that you're doing, because right here, these muscles that connect down the middle, they can split apart. They can actually rip apart from each other. And this is called diastasis recti. And sometimes it's unavoidable and it will happen to you no matter what you do, but oftentimes it's caused by too much strain or stress on that area. So there's certain core moves that will increase the odds of that happening, and then there's certain ones that are safe for pregnancy. So the main rule of thumb, I think I might make a whole separate video on this, so let me know if you want to see that. But a good rule of thumb is you don't want to be shortening and contracting that muscle against gravity. So think like a crunch, like you're down and then you're shortening that muscle and you're doing it against gravity. So that's like the biggest no-no during pregnancy. Often, for the most part, I think the safest way to engage your core and work it during pregnancy is static movement. So think plank. You're turning those muscles on, but they're not shortening or moving. We're still asking a lot of them, but we're not moving them against gravity, if that makes sense. So again, we can talk about that so much more in another video. If you've already been working out, doing yoga, working on your core, then go ahead and find a full plank. If this is your first yoga video ever, or you haven't been working out in a while, let's just start on your knees today. So you'll find your knees, and you'll press your hips forward just a little bit. You can still keep like a healthy bend right here. Think about hugging your baby in. Spread your fingertips wide. press them into the mat. That will take some pressure out of the wrists. Good. No matter what version of plank that you found, go ahead and stop. Go into all fours. Take a quick rest, and then we'll do one more. So another move that's really great for pregnancy, for working your core, you can just rest for a second, but is supported boat pose. So I like to end a lot of yoga classes with boat pose. This is against gravity, but we're not moving. We're not shortening those muscles. And I like to ask my pregnant mamas to hold the backs of their legs just for a little extra support. But that definitely turns the tummy on, and it is pregnancy safe. Okay, one last plank. Again, we don't want to ask too much of those muscles, and so if this feels like a lot, you can always just stay in all fours and think about hugging that baby in. That will too turn those muscles on. Just think about engaging, hugging baby in, pulling that belly button up, just very gently. So feel free to stay there, or you can send the weight forward for a plank on your knees, or one level up. If you feel called to today, you can go all the way up into a full plank. Even in plank, I like to keep my base wide, my feet wide. We don't want to let our back arch here. I'd rather see a little bit more of this than this, especially with that lumbar curve that's already exaggerated during pregnancy. Good. At any point, you can drop to your knees. We're going to keep our muscles engaged for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Dropping to your knees. Maybe you'd like to take a puppy pose. Stretch across the front body a little bit. Good. We're going to send our seat over to the side of our knees. And bring our feet out in front of us for a butterfly. This one's so great during pregnancy. Let me know below if this feels amazing right now. If you have tighter hips, you might want to sit back up on top of our pillow or cushion that we started on, but otherwise, think about posture, sending the crown of the head up, hugging baby in gently. And rather than trying to bring your feet all the way in, you can have a wider butterfly, a wider Baddha Konasana during pregnancy. It just allows for more space. Big breath. If this feels like enough of a stretch, you're feeling that in your hips and everything, just stay upright. If you'd like to send the chest forward, just do that till you find a gentle stretch. Keeping baby hugged in, keeping the core turned on here. Slowly walk back up if you were folding forward, and we are going to prepare for our final pose, Shavasana. This is so important to any yoga practice, but especially during pregnancy. You get so many benefits, and I think during pregnancy especially, you just get that last few moments to connect with the baby. That was my favorite part of yoga when I was pregnant with my daughter. Just having those moments of stillness where you could really tune in, and I was able to feel like little kicks and flutters so early because I was just being still and putting all of my attention on my breath and on my baby. So if you are in your first trimester, you can do a traditional Shavasana laying on your back. So go ahead and just watch me for a moment. If this is you, if you're in your first trimester, you can set up like so, and then just slowly roll down all the way to your back. You can extend the arms out and the legs out, and do your Shavasana traditionally, just like this. But if you're in your second or third trimester or any point where you no longer feel that it's comfortable laying on your back, then we will do Shavasana laying on our left side. We have the right vena cava running down the back of our right side. And so once the baby starts to get bigger, they will put pressure on that vein when we're laying down on our back or sometimes even on our right side. And that can cut off blood flow and oxygen to the baby and to like our legs. It can cause us to feel lightheaded. But it's especially just like not safe because it's cutting off oxygen to the baby. So we want to be really mindful of that. That's why they suggest that pregnant women sleep on their side. So just so you know, the left side is actually the best side because of that vein that we are trying to avoid the baby putting pressure on is on our right. So to set up for Shavasana for pregnancy, I suggest having some props handy. I like to have a pillow as well as a big bolster. So sitting in an easy seat, we're going to bring our legs over to our right side and slowly begin to lower onto our left side. Using your hands to lock your body down. We're at the end of our practice. We're going to give our body a little bit of a break. Coming onto your left side. Something to support your head, like a pillow. And then I like to put a big bolster between my legs. Anything that adds more space, again, I'm going to be hounding this into you in every video. Anything that adds more space for your pelvis is a good thing. You can bring your hands up by your head like this, just wherever it feels comfortable. Maybe bring them to your baby. And just allow your body to melt into the mat, relaxing every muscle. Closing your eyes if you haven't already. With your hands on your baby, or if you're really early on still, just on your lower abdomen. Just place all of your attention there. Lengthening your inhales and exhales. Using that breath as a way to communicate to your baby feelings of peace. If you have the time, I invite you to stay here as long as possible. Just placing your attention on your baby and letting yourself rest. But when you're ready, start to wiggle your fingers and toes. You start to move your arms a little bit. Remove the pillow or bolster from between your legs if you have one there. Using your hands to press yourself back up to a comfortable seated position. keeping the eyes closed. You can bring your hands to your baby one last time. Dipping the chin. One more big inhale. Exhale out the mouth. Good. Slowly flicker the eyes open. And take in the colors beneath you and then the rest of the room. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. It has been an honor walking you through maybe what was your first yoga class or your first prenatal yoga class. I encourage you to subscribe, click the thumbs up button so you don't miss more videos from me in the future. But for now, I'm sending you so much love. Namaste.